All right, guys, we're back. As you see, I'm holding the mic again. When it was in the mic stand, I think it was too far away, and I just fear that you guys couldn't hear everything I was saying. But again, I'm having problems with the cord, so I got the red light pointed toward us so I can see if the red light goes out, and I can stop, fix it, and then start again and do some editing on that. That way you guys won't hear my voice cut out because I don't know if the red light was on or not. That said, we're starting a new year, 2021, which so far seems to be an extension of 2020. Coronavirus COVID outbreak is still there. People are still rushing to the hospital. In fact, San Bernardino County has reported that there's a new strain of COVID-19 that's been discovered. So now we got a new strain, maybe the 2021 strain, right? That's what they're going to call it. There's a name for it, but I forgot. Also, people are still protesting. Minneapolis, hundreds were protesting over the fatal shooting of a black man who allegedly had fired a gun at police before he was shot, and they were seeking him for weapons charges. So I didn't do an editorial on that one because it just may be where somebody was shooting at the cops and got shot. And I don't know. There's too many questions in that story. Philadelphia, more protesting going on. The canine dog that was with the police officer in Vacaville, California, remember he was sitting on the dog and punching it? That dog has been removed from that police officer's home and placed into the home of a third party to be fostered. So that story's updated, and I did the editorial on that. If you want to look for the editorial in my video list, it was just a few days ago. Let's get to the new one here. This one is in regards to what we do as cop watchers. It's a new law that protects first responders, including police officers, from harassment. Now, I'm going to go through this editorial, this story. You can read it in the description box below. But I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to kind of see how much it affects us. Let you know, and you can comment in the comment section below. You can tell it's Monday in a new year, huh? I'm just like, wow. Let's get to it. Thank you, CBS 46, for this story. The start of the new year brings a new law that aims to give officers more rights and protect them from community harassment. Vince Champion from the International Brotherhood of Police Officers, in an interview conducted back in June, said, "We're finding more people challenging us now than they ever had before." At the time, protests against police brutality were at all-time high nationally. Back then, Vince Champion told CBS 46 officers felt unsupported. Vince Champion said, "I understand what we signed up for when we signed to become cops. We understand it's not a pretty job. We understand that we could get hurt or even killed. We understand we could be in a lawsuit based on just what we do for a job. But what we don't understand and don't accept is that the DA and everyone else to come actually looking for us." But as of January 1st, 2021, officers have additional protection in a new law called Bias-Motivated Intimidation of First Responders Prosecution Act. The legislation says a person could serve 1 to 5 years in prison if found guilty of maliciously harassing a first responder, causing bodily harm, death, or damage to property. But Atlanta City Council member Antonio Brown says we must start having a vision in how we address complex issues. Councilman Brown said people have lost their lives and become martyrs in the face of change in our city, state, and country, and this is a complete disrespect to these individual families. Brown says he does not support defunding the police, but as we need to come up with a way to better understand the systemic impacts of how bad policies like the new police protection legislation have plagued our county. Councilman Brown added, "I believe the new police protection legislation that Governor Kemp signed into law is reactive and a complete slap in the face of all the community organizers, activists, local municipalities that have worked tirelessly, not just during the unrest we've seen over the last year, but over the last decade, to bridge the divide between the police and the community." The new law also allows officers to bring a civil lawsuit against any person or group for abridgment of the officer's civil rights. Couple things I'm going to address here, and then I'm going to let you guys comment on this. First thing, it said that under the new law, you could serve 1 to 5 years in prison if you're found guilty of maliciously harassing a first responder, causing bodily harm, death, or damage to property. Maliciously harassing a first responder. Now, what's malicious harassment? What's malice? They have to prove malice. Remember that. So a cop watcher that's standing on the sidewalk recording them, and if the cop comes up and engages him and says, back up, go to that pole way back there, and tries to violate your civil rights, you are allowed to say, get back to work. Get back to work, dummy. You're violating my civil rights right now. And I'm not talking about all cops. I'm talking about, we have those cops that step over the line. Those cops that don't want to be recorded in any way or fashion. So they're going to use every law, every ordinance, and every statute. They're going to twist it and bend it like Gumby and Play-Doh to try to get you to stop recording them. There are cops out there like that. Then there are other cops who don't care. They look at your camera and they go, how's it going, buddy? And they go back to work. Those are the cops we love. But the cops that don't want to be recorded, we want to record you. Why? Because you don't want to be recorded. Why don't you want to be recorded? Is there something you're doing that you don't want us to see? So going back to this, malicious harassment, malice, those people that stand there and yell and shout at the cops and call them cowards and pigs and all of that maliciously. Those are the ones that they're going for. So I don't want you cop watchers to get afraid and go, well, no more cop watching. Of course you can cop watch. Do it the way I do it. Stand there quietly and record. If a cop engages you, sure, you're allowed to respond. That's not malicious to respond. He's engaging you. If he didn't want a response, he would have shut up and kept working, right? But if he gives you a good, hey, how's it going? How's it going, sir? Why not? Why not be an adult? So that was the first thing I wanted to address. The second thing I want to address, I know I talk a lot, man. Some people get so mad at me talking, but I got to get this out. You got to hear this. The second thing, he says the new law allows officers to bring a civil lawsuit against any person for abridgment of the officer's civil rights. I know people go, well, officers don't have rights on the job. But here's the thing. We're going to play their game. This is chess, not checkers. Don't violate their civil rights. A cop, let's just say they do have the First Amendment right to say something to you. You have the First Amendment right to respond. Not maliciously, but just to respond. Okay? So don't violate their civil rights and allowing them to do their job. Allow them to do their job. But at the same time, we're going to have to do this thing without being malicious. What's the definition of malice? Malice. The intention or desire to do evil or ill will. That's malice. So what's malicious? Malicious is characterized by malice, intending or intended to do harm. Recording a cop with your camera is not malice. How is this going to harm somebody? Well, if a cop is violating policy, or breaking the law, or violating somebody's civil rights, I guess it's going to harm his career. Is that malicious? No, because it's not evil. Remember that malice is the intention or desire to do evil. Exposing a cop that's violating civil rights, breaking the law, or violating departmental policy is not evil. That's goodwill. Not ill will. That's goodwill. We want to catch those cops. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Community Leo Watch. Watching Leos, that's law enforcement officers, to include those crying out for protection by the law and from coast to coast.